Hi, everyone. Our fourth panel for today features stars Robert Baker and Jordyn Ashley Olson, along with Tanya Kach herself. Excited to have you all here. Let's start with our first question. Our first question is from Jay Ellison.
This is for Jordyn Ashley Olson. Jordyn, let me ask you, how difficult is it transitioning from movie to movie, from film to film?
I mean, it changes depending on what the content is. If the script is like this one and you're going from something very, let's say, Hallmark, that's a bit of a change, but it's a different mindset. You kind of just have to find a way to reset yourself. And for every actor, it's different. You just gotta take a breath, figure out who you are as yourself again before jumping into something else, because it can be a bit hectic once you get started, and once you're there, you gotta go.
When you got the role, did you think this role is for me? This is what I really want.
I find when I do auditions, because so many come in all the time, I try and forget about them immediately after. This one stuck around for a while in my brain. It was like, hey, I exist. You can't let go yet. And I'm glad I didn't, because when I got the callback, I was very excited. And then I got the full script. It was like, I get to know all the things. Okay, great. Now I can actually prepare it the way I want to. It's very good.
Thank you very much. Continued success, Jordyn.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next question is from Elise at the Moment podcast.
Hi, guys. My question is for Tanya. I just wanted to know, how was it to be a part? Were you on set at all? And how was it to kind of watch some of this unfold since you already lived it? Were you able to, did you have to relive it again, essentially?
I was not on set for it. I was not able to visit, but I have watched it, and yeah, there are things that were like way in the back of my mind that are forefront now that I guess I had swept under the rug. So yes, it's essentially, it felt like a little bit of reliving it. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. For Jordyn and Robert, hi guys. I wanted to ask, were there any mental health professionals on set, or did you all speak to anyone in that kind of lane to kind of prepare and unpack and kind of distress after committing to these roles?
I didn't really talk to a professional about it, but I have a very, very good support system that I kept in constant contact with. And then everyone on set was fantastic. And then Robert himself was probably one of the best support I've had, especially in a scene partner. It was just very easy to, maybe not easy to do the scenes, but coming up with it afterwards and having him there, it made it less taxing, I guess.
Thank you. It was kind of like Jordyn said, we kind of would talk it out afterward, after a day was done, to kind of remember who we are actually. So I think that we didn't have any on set people or anything, but I mean, personally, I don't feel like it was needed. I feel like between the two of us and Simone Stock, our director,
we had a pretty solid little thing going. Yeah.
Indeed. In-house. Yeah.
That's amazing. And this is my last question. As far as you guys both said that you had a great support system, what self-care did you all kind of participate in? And just in general, when you are kind of unwinding from a role, what is one thing that you would do self-care wise to kind of just come back into your own body and take the character off?
I watched anime and cooked every time I got home. Like, Spy Family made me very happy. And then I'd make pancakes at the end of the day, usually, just to kind of like get some sugar in there and kind of bounce back a bit before sleeping. It worked well.
That's amazing. What about you, Robert?
Seinfeld reruns, lifting weights, Seinfeld reruns. That pretty much does it.
That's good. You'll always have to have your comfort shows. Well,
There you
thank you
go.
guys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Tanya, can you tell us what it was like working with Elizabeth Smart on this project? She couldn't be here today, but I know you worked on the documentary special with her as well for the movie.
Yes. Oh, it was wonderful working with her. She is so kind and so sweet and so generous, and you know, meeting her meant a lot to me. And I think it meant a lot to her too, because even aside from being on camera, we had, personal conversations, which, I think meant a lot to both of us.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. Our next question is from Jamie Ruby.
Hi, thanks for talking to us. Jordyn, this is sort of continuing with what you were saying, but is it hard, though, to kind of step out of that because this is such a dark thing to be able to kind of bounce back and forth, or does it sort of stick with you?
Well, it wasn't easy to come out of it. But we had a really good crew. So even when I was having issues, it was easy to reach out and get like human contact as Jordyn when it was necessary. Like I was starting rock, paper, scissors competitions with some of the camera crew and the sound crew just because I needed something to jolt me back for a second. But they were all very, very supportive of stuff like that. So it was hard, but I felt safe doing it.
And then I just also wanted to ask, did you worry a lot of times? Obviously, you talked to Tanya, so that probably makes it a lot easier. But did you kind of worry to make sure that it was, I guess, correct since it is a real person? How did you, I guess, approach it differently in that sense?
I mean, it's always a little terrifying going into a role and knowing that you're portraying a real live human, and you want to do them justice and you want their story to be told a way they would want it to be presented because you don't want to offend them or upset them. It's their story, it's their life. So that was very, very intimidating going in, but it was, with the shooting schedule we had, there was no time to really think or dwell or have anxiety about it. It was, you got to be in this story now and you've got to tell it to the best of your ability and hope that it turns out the way you think it will.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next question is from the Cindy Davis Show.
Hello, I'm Dr. Cindy Davis Evans with the Cindy Davis Show. My question is for Robert Baker. How did you prepare for such a role as this?
I read up as much as I could find about the story of what happened back in Pennsylvania, and learned as much as I could from that. But mostly it was just from the script and from what I could, kind of what I found is sort of a way into him, because I want to be sensitive to this, obviously, with Tanya here, because he was a monster, but that's not my job to show a monster. That's the story does that. It's my job is to be a human being. So I had to find a way to make him a human being, and then his actions are obviously monstrous. So that kind of fills in that part for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from Miss Conversation Piece.
Hello, how are you? I have a question about how you feel the movie balances the need for entertainment with the responsibility of portraying and telling a real life true story. Where's the balance?
Sorry, I didn't catch that last piece.
I was just saying, where's the balance in the film?
I think the balance gets achieved by having people like Elizabeth Smart and Tanya be at least peripherally involved in it. I think that helps keep the truth of the situation and the importance of the situation present, and not being simply overpowered by the desire for entertainment.
Yeah, having their voices in it, it was needed. Like, you can't do a real life story without the person involved, like having a voice in it, it wouldn't be as genuine. Like there wouldn't be, the entertainment value wouldn't be worth it.
And Tanya, how do you feel the Lifetime Network, they took into account the emotional impact, like trying to see this film and reliving it would have on you and your family and friends?
I didn't catch the last part of that.
How do you feel Lifetime took into account the emotional impact this film would have on you, your family, and friends?
Oh, they did. You know, the one of the head producers, Joseph Reed. You know, we've built a relationship by talking on the phone, and he's been very supportive through this whole thing, and has kept me informed and everything, and you know, and even told me like if I needed to talk, he's there, and you know, but Lifetime did, you know, they did take into account everything, and they've been very, very kind about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Our next question is from Lavetta Jenkins.
Hello, I'm Lavetta Jenkins of chattypassenger.com. This question is for Tanya. I've seen a lot of movies that are biopics or, kind of loosely based on real stories, and they often get a little sensationalized for Hollywood. How important was it for you that your story stuck as close to the true details as possible?
Oh, because it's what happened. You know, I mean, you can't rewrite history. You know what I mean? I wanted it as accurate as possible. And Robert and Jordyn did a great job, you know, on their acting in this movie. I mean, Jordyn got me down pat. You know, my actions, how I was, and everything. And you know, I mean, they've done a spectacular job at this.
I believe so. Thank you all for such an amazing project. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Thank you so much. Our next question is from Abby Bernstein.
Hi, I'm with Assignment X. For Ms. Olson and Mr. Baker, you're playing your characters over a period of 10 years. What did you do to age the characters up or down? And if you were shooting out of sequence, did you have to like make notes for yourselves as to what year you were in?
We shot in pretty good sequence, actually, which is pretty rare. We shot they were Simone was very conscious. Simone and the ADs were very conscious of keeping it in order. It was also a relatively short shooting schedule, so bouncing back and forth in time obviously
it was right
tougher.
there. Like we just did
yeah.
So it's
So Jordyn had to do a lot of, I think yours was mostly hair stuff and mine was so much hair stuff, and mine was just getting the gray out of me, and then just sort of, I just sort of slowed down a little bit, like physically. I think I slowed down my physicality as it got to the last couple of years of it, but I mean, it was a lot of it was just done with hair and makeup.
Yeah, a good chunk of that was hair and makeup, and then wardrobe as well, just because she had to grow out things. She wasn't a kid anymore. She grew into a woman, so she had to physically not fit certain things. And wardrobe did a great job with that. Hair and makeup made it very clear that she was aging, which was good. And then it was more just the evolution of kind of how she's doing mentally was all I could really do age-wise for her, because she goes from teenager to an adult. So there's that awkwardness of the teenager, which she's, in my brain, I could still kind of see her having growing up and then like coming into herself a bit, which was all I kind of tried to go with, like a coming of age in a movie like this.
Did you guys look at Room at all?
I watched it when it first came out.
Same.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while though.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our final question is from Tamara J.
Hello, everyone. My question is for the entire panel. I wanted to know what are some of the conversations you are hopeful viewers will have after watching this movie?
That this doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
And I just say that I personally have gotten messages from a lot of mothers saying that they're going to watch it with their teenage daughters.
Yeah. It's you don't ever want something like this to happen again. It's an awareness thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think an awareness thing is spot on, Jordyn. Something that like I mean, I'm sure there's no one way to see how any of this would happen anywhere, but like there have to be some signs, just so that we're not, pay attention to what's going on in your environment. Maybe you'll be able to spot something else that can help someone, if not yourself.
Especially adults around children. It's like you've
Yeah.
got to keep an eye, you got to hold each other accountable for what's going on around you. This didn't just happen, this was a process. The kids aren't responsible for that. It's the adults who are supposed to be taking care of the children that are responsible for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Robert, Jordyn, and especially Tanya for joining us today. The Girl Locked Upstairs premieres this Saturday, June 8th at 8 p.m. on Lifetime.